Good day, members. My name is Osman Bromfield. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Public Sector Employees Credit Union. The credit union started in 1968 under the name the Jamaica Special Constabulary Cooperative Credit Union. We have rebranded 2 times since that. In 2014, we rebranded to name the National Security Employees Credit Union. And later, I think October last year, we further transitioned to become the Public Sector Employees Credit Union. What that signifies really is an expansion of our bond from merely serving members of the Special Constabulary to the entire public sector. I became the treasurer in 1992. At that time, the total asset of the credit union was $6 million. Today, well, up to the end of December 2017, we were at some $2.1 billion in total asset. This is a significant change having regard to when we started. And more so since I assumed the role as treasurer and later on the chief executive officer. My role really is to provide the leadership necessary to guide the movement further. It is really significant that we are now celebrating 50 years of existence. And it is more a reminder to you that your continued support will continue to strengthen the credit union from strength to strength. We are celebrating our golden anniversary, and because of this, we are now highlighting some of our achievements. It is with your help that we will continue to go further. When I reflected on the 50 years of celebration or existence, 3 things came to mind that is very topical. Firstly, when we moved from that small office at Armand Barracks in 1986, and secondly, when I became treasurer in 1992, and thirdly, by coincidence, on the occasion of our 50th anniversary celebration, we amassed $2.1 billion in total asset. And that is significant to me because we moved from merely, in 25 years, we would have moved from $6 million to $2.1 billion. I really don't want to apply the percentage movement there, but just a cursory look, it seems as if we would have grown by over 3,000%. I just happened to be around during that time. And I don't want to ascribe any of the praise to my contribution, but it's rather difficult to ignore it. I would have been the overseer. I would have been the source of guidance to new board members, staff. We would have transitioned from just merely being police personnel to professional civilian staff. And those are some of the things that really stood out. It is almost difficult to ignore the fact that to have achieved $2.1 billion almost during the time that I have spent with the credit union, because we took 25 years to achieve $6 million, and the latter 25 years, $2.1 billion, meaning that we would have grown by more than $2 billion in 25 years compared to $6 million before. Throughout my life, and it started from my school days, I have a love for numbers. So maths was my favorite subject. My maths teacher would have said to me, is a source of inspiration to really teach me maths. I would have challenged him from whatever angle he came. And it follows me really. In fact, perhaps it also accounts for me being here. Because after leaving school in 1974, I went to a trade training center. And while at the trade training center, the syllabus from the Ministry of Youth at that time, the teacher could not manage the maths, and I became the maths teacher student. I would have done that for about 6 months. So every time maths came on the syllabus, I became the teacher, and the teacher became the student. It so happened that one of my fellow classmates, he did the test for the police force, failed the maths, and he seeked me out. He found me eventually, paid my fare, just to follow him or to accompany him to do the test. It happened that he failed the English, so he didn't get on to do the maths. And I just continued, and the rest is history. Came in the force for the first 4 years. I didn't think that it was really the career that I want to pursue. But in 1980, I was assigned to the Pay and Accounts office in the force. And I started my first formal training at the Finance and Account College of Training in 1985. That was the first module of a 4-module course. So in 1988, I went on to the second module, and in 1991, I did the advanced module in accounting, and it is both government and commercial accounting. And by coincidence, in 1992, I came to the credit union. I would have completed the final module in 1993. So, and what that does for me really, it gives you a chance while studying, you are practicing. So because of that, I didn't have to do much reading, because every time you're doing the exam, you're thinking about work. And that helped me to learn and apply. So I learned from the applied standpoint. And if I were to credit myself to say that my background in maths, add to finance and accounts, could have contributed to the success that the credit union have achieved over the last 50 years. You see, people don't like changes. And the credit union movement with the new regulation or regime in itself provides some new challenges. The strictures of it really, a BOJ become the regulators against the registrar of cooperative. The BOJ really going to be guiding you based on financial prudence. And it more linked to the national economy. Whereas in the local setting, the registrar will be more like that. The difference really is that you will now be competing with the banks. You will be judged or assessed based on the same principle as the bank. And therefore, that in itself is a challenge. But it can also be good for us, because the bank is really our competitors. And right now, the credit union is sit between in the middle of the microfinance, which is what they call the microfinance. They call them, some person refer to them as the loan shark, whereas the banks are now the major players. So the credit union have a competitor at the top and a competitor at the bottom. It can also provide opportunities, and for us to know, exploit it rather than to complain about it. I'm looking forward to the regulator or for the new regime. Hopefully it will happen this year, and therefore going into the new 50 more years of existence with a new regime is also coincidental. The credit union is strong on corporate social responsibility. But one of the major products that stood out in my mind is the whole restoration of Armand Barracks. While I was commandant of the Island Special Constabulary Force, I was also the treasurer and managing director of this credit union. So we created what we call at the time a restoration building fund. So each year, the credit union would set aside from their surplus some amount of fund in this for this facility. We started the restoration because the Gilbert in 1988 would have destroyed the entire compound. And we started the restoration. It so happened that the government joined in afterwards and completed the restoration. Up to the time of being commandant, I would have oversaw the entire rehabilitation of Armand Barracks particularly, and all the other formations nationally. So that in itself is how I would say the credit union would have impacted national life and has been really a good corporate social agent. The credit union have rebranded to take on the entire public sector employees. So for us, the sky is the limit. We had the change seamlessly in 2017, and it is more or less the tip of the iceberg, because with that asset base of 2.1 billion at the beginning of January 2018, it now gives us strength that we can take on the entire public sector. The entire public sector population is over 100,000. And if you were to add family members to that, an average of 4 per family, you're talking about 400,000 members. If we capitalize on this opportunity, then I'm going to say to you that the public sector employees credit union can become the credit union of choice for the public sector employees in Jamaica. And that's what we're pursuing. Okay, I just want to thank the members for their support over the years and ask for your continued support going forward. As I said, the changes that we have embarked upon, really, it is for you. I know we don't like changes, and sometimes we want to stay in our own small areas. But the expansion of a bond that now entice members of the public sector to participate is really the right way to go. We are still one family, all employees of the government of Jamaica. So your continued support, we're looking forward to have. I thank you.